latest chit chat. Grab your popcorn, sit tight, we're ready to roll. In the heart of Sacktown, we're feeding your soul. In the King's Court, the vibe's electric. If you don't like that, we're here to correct it. With the best in the game, we're raising the bar. From the hardwood to the airways, we're the King's shining star. With the NFL, Adams in the ring. Raynaud's got the wisdom, hear the praises we sing. Court in session, it's a royal affair. With the fans all around, feel the passion in the air. In the King's Court, the vibe's electric. If you don't like that, we're here to correct it. With the best in the game, we're raising the bar. From the hardwood to the airways, we're the King's shining star.
What's up? You made it. Kind of Friday. It's Friday around here on the King's Court. How we doing today? Court in
order
session.
In the court.
A lot to talk about here on a busy Thursday in Sacramento. The rookies get introduced. Did you like what they had to say? We're going to go over that. We've got the press conference that we can watch and examine. I mean, not a ton to pick from it. I've got 3 or 4 big things that I'm going to hit on from that. Also, some more NBA news kind of leaking out. You get a report that the Kings might actually still be looking at something from Malik Monk. If you were with us yesterday or the day before, I said it wasn't that deal. We were talking about the Monk for Schroeder directly sign and trade. And I said Monk is not going in that deal. Now, there's something else that they like, but it's not that. And it looks like slowly, and not really anything to a surprise, Jonathan Kuminga would be a really good fit here. But what did surprise me from earlier today was I tweeted out after the press conference that, Scott Perry might be looking at Nick Clifford a little bit as a 1. And I got all these tweets back like, what? What are you talking about? LOL. Like, are you crazy? NBC or Kings on NBC right now just tweeted this out 6 minutes ago. Nick Clifford is ready to play whatever position the Kings ask him. And that versatility is what appeared to Scott Perry. He played the point guard position his entire life growing up until he got to college. Now, what's interesting about that, because the trade we're looking at, right? The trade that is being floated around, we'll talk about it in a minute, would include Malik Monk and Devin Carter. So how many point guards does that leave you with at that point? Dennis Schroeder, presumably, if that deal goes down. So anyways, a few funny moments from the press conference, much like Scott and the Kings.
We want volunteers.
We want volunteers.
We want volunteers.
Not hostages around here on the King's Court. You actually have a doubleheader coming up, so let's get the housekeeping out of the way. Napes is going to do a show tonight. Make sure you join him, 8 o'clock. I heard there was some really good back and forth last night on his show, so hop in there before the 4th of July. Both of us will be off. Now, if anything goes down, one of us will be here. We will come. We are prepared to do a show should anything happen with the Kings that is significant. So keep that in mind. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you haven't already, and thank you if you have. There is the QR code that you can scan. Give us a big thumbs up. It really helps us. A retweet, a like if you're watching on the X. You put us in some really good algorithms on both of those sites. So we thank you very much for it. And we've got content coming out of our ears for you, even though it is the middle of the summer. And yes, we are going to talk about one of my favorite things on the 4th of July. You know what I'm talking about. Coney Island. Now that Joey Chestnut's back, I'm all about it. I'm watching. We don't know why we watch it. Probably for these moments. Is there going to be a reversal of fortune? But there's something wildly amusing about people that are slamming like 80 hot dogs in what, 10 minutes? They get 10 minutes to eat those dogs? That is nuts. Anyways, full show. Get up in here. You can call if you would like. The link is attached to the top of the chat. You can scan the QR code as well. Adam, since it is our Friday, Adam will be joining me later in the show. We are going to do our weekly wrestling segment to wrap up the week. Anybody know the wrestler that I'm rocking right now? I'm going to do my best within my budget to find some old school, some vintage, random wrestling shirts. This happens to be one of them. So, did I do a good job? Do you know who this is? He's really not that popular of a wrestler. He's just kind of a polarizing character. Let's put it that way. So, enough about the wrestling. We'll get to your chats in a moment. Let's get to the business. Malik Monk still being mentioned in trade talks, including Devin Carter now as well. The Kings, as many teams are, very interested. If you look at a lot of the lists with free agency and the teams and the players that are still in the market, Jonathan Kuminga seems to be the consensus best player left on the market. You know, he kind of fell out of favor with Steve Kerr. Then he gets thrown in to the series in Houston because Steph Curry gets hurt. And guess what? He balled out. Would we be talking the same or at the same level of interest with Jonathan Kuminga had he not come off the bench? And I mean, he was on the bench for a minute after they acquired Jimmy Butler. If he had not come off and been really good, it'd be a different story. So there's a lot of stock in him. It was talked about earlier this morning on the starting lineup with Brian Scalabrine, Frank Isola. Here's the trade.
Sports California, that's Brian's sister station because he works for NBC Sports Boston. The Warriors, Kings, and the Pistons discussing a 3-team blockbuster trade that would send, wait for it, Jonathan Kuminga and veteran point guard Dennis Schroeder to Sacramento in separate sign and trade deals. Schroeder reportedly has agreed to a 3-year, $45 million contract with the Kings. The Kings, in turn, would send Malik Monk to the Pistons and second-year guard Devin Carter and newly acquired big man Dario Saric to the Golden State Warriors. You like that deal for the Warriors? Jonathan Kuminga, you're going to get Devin Carter and Dario Saric back, who's been on the Warriors before, I believe.
Wow.
So there you go. That is from, and by the way, I hate to tell you, because Mike Brown is headed to New York. The Kings got rehashed on a national level. What happened here? I've got the audio of it. We'll play it a little bit later. But what do you think about that? I don't know really what to think about it, because when I think about Malik Monk, I think about the leader of this team, energy-wise. He's not afraid of anything. He attacks. He cusses at the rim more times than not. The mics pick that up. But no, in all seriousness, when Malik Monk was out, the Kings could not create anything. There was no change in pace in their game. So maybe that changes with the new players that you have. And one thing that Doug said at the press conference today that I'm not super high on is positionless basketball. But if that's what it's going to be, that's what it's going to be. And Malik Monk fits in pretty good with that. He can also give you a change of pace. So I don't know where the leadership's going to come from. Domas, great leader. Don't get me wrong. Great leader, but different type of leader, especially off the court. Malik, some of you know this, maybe you don't, but he's definitely kind of the verbal leader behind the scenes. When things are too low, he gets the guys back up, and vice versa. If guys are not wanting to talk to the coach about something, Malik will speak up for them. So I wonder what the locker room would look like without Malik Monk. And what about this? Malik Monk loves Sacramento. He loves Sacramento. He gets to golf almost year-round. He's invested tremendously within this community. He's won the King's Award for Community Achievement the last 2 years. So it is a different-looking Kings team without him. So where are you at on that one? Nothing concrete, just being reported. As I said again, Mike Brown, we talked about him going to New York yesterday, which rehashed, of course, some of the things that we don't like to talk about as much. National media, here's what they had to say.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I mean, Mike Brown went 48 and 34. So Sacramento had the longest playoff drought in the NBA. So they make the playoffs, Brian. They lose in that 7th game to the Warriors at home. The following season, they go 46 and 36. So back-to-back years, he's above 500, flirting with 50-win seasons. Last year, after 31 games, he's gone, 13-18. I mean,
yeah, but wasn't it because like just the players just stopped playing hard for him? Had nothing to do with
whatever.
any of that. I know it's
they-
like that's the league that we now live in right now. It's like players are which here's the thing, like they fire Mike Brown, then they trade, and like they're back to being a dumpster fire again. So what was I don't understand it. If you're gonna listen to the players or the players are gonna tune you out, then why trade your players? Why trade De'Aaron Fox? And like it just all went downhill from there. And like this is very similar to like Memphis. If you started the season last year, Taylor Jenkins is instituting this new offense, and like, man, everyone's talking about this thing that's really hard to guard and all this stuff. And then John Morant's like, I don't like it anymore, and I'm not going to play if he's there. So they fire him. That's like the NBA world that we live in, and you know, I don't know why that's the case. And going back to that call.
That is the NBA world that we live in. This is one of the few shows that I catch. Maybe it's a 3-hour show. I catch maybe an hour of each day. And the hour that I caught was people calling in, talking about Sacramento, talking about Mike Brown. Dennis, really? That was why? Okay. All right. We'll take you on your word, Dennis. We will take you on your word. Derek, man, Kobayashi, was there ever a bigger falling out than Kobayashi and that whole thing that we didn't know what happened? He kind of went crazy. There was this documentary that was probably 8 years ago when it was at the height of, well, it'd be longer than that because Chestnut wasn't the man yet. It was still Kobayashi. They came out with this documentary on how he trained in Japan, and they followed him to a sushi restaurant. The stack of plates looked like it was as tall as the Empire State Building. It was ridiculous. But anyways, we'll get to the hot dog eating contest. Again, the Kings announced or introduced both rookies today. Doug Christie was asked about what do the Kings like, basically? Does he feel they're more prepared? What do they like about guys that have played close to their eligibility out in college? Does that make it easier for them to step on the court? Here's what Doug had to say.
I think there's a lot of benefit in that. I know it's young, all these different things, but for me, like just talking to them, you can hear the maturity in their answers. You can hear they don't just answer, they think about what they're saying, not to mention with the NIL and a lot of different things, probably financial literacy, they're probably farther along. There are a lot of aspects that I think when you look at these guys are going to be beneficial to them. But one is just understanding, like listening to them, it just makes me smile because you can hear that they get it. So, and they're willing to, you slide across the work in front of them because everybody says they want to be great until you slide the work across, and then they go, these guys aren't doing that. He's been in the gym, I don't know how many times. I see him like a lot. So that's a good thing. And I know the same thing from Neek. And those are qualities that we want. We don't, what you say, Scott? You don't want prisoners?
No. We want volunteers. We want volunteers, not hostages. We want volunteers, not hostages. That's right.
No doubt.
So we'll listen to the press conference here in a little bit, but that is not part of the video. I thought that was an interesting response. It's par for the course. It's what I expected. He was referring to it. We can stop with the Maximi. We can call him Max now. That's what they were doing at the press conference. But Max Raynaud, he's been already working out, getting some stuff in the gym. I'm sure Clifford has as well. By the way, Clifford was wearing a giant. I could not pay attention to the press conference because I was drawn to his chain. He has Clifford the dog all iced out. And it was so obvious. And the G-Man was like, I noticed your bling. Can you give us a little more information on that? The other thing, what you're going to see in the press conference, I kind of like that he's going to number 5. That's ballsy. That's really ballsy. And then he backs it up with some really good reasons, personal reasons why he wants to go to number 5, and also reasons for the city of the Sacramento and the Kings. So anyways, we do have a few other things going on. We talked throughout the week about, let's do this. Peter talked about it. Valanciunas very well maybe on his way back to the EuroLeague. Isn't that the weirdest thing? Like, did the Kings kill his love for basketball in the NBA? Because he's in a much better situation in Denver, allegedly, reportedly, because nothing is official until July 6th when these guys get pen to paper and teams finalize. So he might not be sticking around. He might be headed back to Europe. Peter had put that in the chat. Okay, I see somebody saying that Jason Anderson shot down the Malik Monk rumors. Yeah, look, I'm kind of with Jason. If there was a trade that could really make the Kings think about that, that's probably the one. Now you're giving up. You got the whatever you want to call it, logjam at the guard position, mixed guard position. And you'd be giving up also on Devin Carter. And so in that circumstance, that's why I've tried to kind of look at this, because what I had heard is Malik's staying. He's been told he's staying. But if you look 360, if there's a better opportunity out there, then what do you do at the guard position, the point guard position? But then you heard Doug Christie, or you will hear him talk about positionless basketball. So you would be giving up the two closest things you have to a point guard, which makes me kind of put my eyes back on Neek. You know, some of those guards, and he does not have the explosiveness. He's closer to, in terms of quickness and explosion, closer to a Halliburton than he would be a Westbrook. Now, understand, I'm not comparing him to either of those players, but when you think about a larger lead guard, he's more of that style with Hallie, not so much like Westbrook, just jumping out of the gym at the rim. Freaky stuff. So it makes you kind of wonder if the Kings will do anything. I'm kind of with Jason. I hope they hang on to Malik Monk. I think that this season takes already not looking like it's going to be a great path unless your rookies completely develop. And by the accounts of what we saw draft day, what Scott Perry said at the end of day one of the draft, and then getting Max at 42, it's become more and more apparent that the Kings are betting these two. You saw it today. You see it in Max's contract, the guarantee. It's a 3-year contract. The first 2 years are guaranteed for a second round pick. That's it's not irregular, but a lot of second round picks end up getting on 2-way deals. So what I'm saying is, look at the press conference today, and they were both very well spoken as well. Their age comes off that way, but the Kings are betting heavily that these two are going to be able to step on the court immediately. Like, that's part of the plan. That's so close. Good job. It's Danhausen. Darbyhausen. You went right in the middle between Darby. Oh, what's his Darby Allen and Danhausen. Yeah, good job. Winner, chicken dinner. Got to get you something for that, Aaron. Aaron's Burgers. You have burgers? So we'll watch the press conference in a minute. We'll start talking about the Kings some more. This whole Giannis and Dame thing, I told you, or I suspected. I had a very good inclination when Dame was bought out, because it really was, the Bucks did him a big favor in his best interest. He was thinking about not picking up the option on his contract next year. He's getting paid every dime that's going to be owed to him by Milwaukee. But then there was these reports that Giannis was super upset about it, right? And, maybe Giannis is going to leave because of that. And all the while, they sign Miles Turner to an $111 million contract. Well, sure enough, reporting that Giannis was thrilled.
So it was reported in a tweet that Giannis is confirmed to have known about Miles Turner signing beforehand and was said to be excited. And then Damian Lillard sent out a tweet of Jack Black. And who is he dressed as? What is that? That wrestler?
Is that Nacho Libre?
Yeah.
So that's
what
basically
are you-
saying it's fake. It's like don't be fake, be real, don't be
Right.
fake, like that.
It's a little confusing. It's a little confusing. Meanwhile, Chris
little.
Haynes.
Well, I mean, he did spend some time at Stanford. So Giannis has been known for this kind of stuff. Go look at some YouTube videos of Giannis warming up, and he's just kind of back and forth. He plays both sides of it at times, but it is what it is. He is not here in Sacramento, so really not much left to talk on that bone. The thinking is that Dame will either end up in Miami or he will end up somewhere here on the West Coast. Some have mentioned Portland. I don't know if that's going to be what it's going to be, but I think that the Lakers could be an option depending on where they're at. And LeBron's playing all these games still too. He's wearing a hat yesterday that said welcome home or back home, something along those lines. So I'm just tired of LeBron's act. I respect what he's done on the court, but man, save us the drama. Even Bronny can't stand the drama. It's becoming a little too much. So we're going to watch the press. Well, we're going to get to your comments first. We're going to watch the press conference and go through that as well. But here was the other comment about the Kings and Mike Brown that made the national show today.
So if you go back to Sacramento 2009-10 season, Paul Westfall's the coach. So since then, they go Paul Westfall for a few years, then Keith Smart takes over. Keith Smart gets a season, then Michael Malone takes over. Michael Malone's second year, he's fired. Tyrone Corbin takes over, then George Karl takes over. Then George Karl coaches the next season. Then for 3 years, they got Dave Yeager. For 2+ years, they got Luke Walton. And then they have Alvin Gentry as the interim. Then they hire Mike Brown for 2 full seasons. They get rid of him after 31 games. And he was the one guy that gave them their first playoff appearance. They had last made the playoffs in 2006. They went all those years without making the playoffs. They made it in 23. The following year, they're 46-36, don't make the playoffs, Brian. And then in the past season, 31 games, he's out as a coach. Yeah. Doug Christie, by the way, 27-24 after he replaced Mike Brown.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
And they lost all kinds of players. Like Doug Christie did a really good job there. He did a really good job. So it's like, I don't know, man. I just I think that's why these coaches get rehired, because sometimes they get fired and it's not their fault. They get fired for what they stand on. If Mike Brown was standing on what we need to do, like, all right, we need to push the ball, we need to defend at a high level. It all worked for 2 years, but the third year, the players no longer want to defend at a high level, push the ball. They want to play their style. They want to play the easy way, which, okay, fine. You want to play the easy way and get us results. But then when it doesn't work out and you don't listen to the coach, guess who's gone? The coach. And that's like, I don't think it's right. Mike Brown deserves another shot. He's getting another shot. He never should have been fired from Sacramento.
Who do we got here?
So there you go. It'll be interesting to see if Tibbs ends up getting another job. I think he will. Okay, this is a report, and it is also coming through Dennis. It's not a report by Dennis. It's from James Ham that suggests it would be surprising if Kuminga doesn't join the Kings before the weekend concludes. Okay, well, joins is different than the Kings trade for, so we'll see. Still, we're day 3 of free agency. Still early on. Really, once you get, and you got the holiday mixed into this now, this easily probably will go into the 6th for sure. You might get news on July 4th. Who knows? The NBA reports through all this. If they're going to play a history of Kings coaches, I insist that the history include Jerry Reynolds and Bill Russell. All right, make sure you do that. You insist. I agree, though. Paul asks, so what position are we looking to fill that may involve a DeRozan and another Kings trade? I think at this point you're looking to really get that true 4 that's a 3 and D guy. I think that's what you're looking for. I'm looking to do what I can to get Keegan Murray back to the 3. So if Scott Perry drafted Nick Clifford to be a 3 or play a decent amount of time at 3, that means Keegan's going to the 4. And I've said all off season, I think you need to get these guys back to their natural positions or as close to that as you can. And it sounds like I'm completely wrong. It sounds like that's not even in play because Doug Christie said positionless basketball earlier today. I just don't think you have the guys to do that. If you think I'm wrong, tell me. Or if you have a different thought, put it in the chat, call the show. Just don't think it works. So we'll see. Getting through here. Redfish, his first one. There you go. Probably speaking with Domas, reminded JV of home. Well, Grant brought up
One of the biggest things is we need a point guard. That's for sure.
Excellent point in that Sabonis texted Max and texted the rookies that, he's excited. They've not met yet, but he lost Jonas, who was really one of his really good friends off the court. He trained with him all the time, same national teams. So there you go. All you can eat spaghetti contest. Dennis is saying that because the guys had spaghetti at a different restaurant. They should have gone to Bennett's. It's what they should have gone to. Aaron says, curious on Joey's blood sugar after the hot dog eating contest. I kind of looked into it. There's a local guy that made the national scene. Not local to Sacramento, but he's in the Bay Area. He's Northern California. Matt Stoney. I was watching some of his videos and the preparation that they do to get their stomachs right. It includes iceberg lettuce and hot water, yada, yada, yada. My question is how long do you not eat for? After you slam 80 dogs, or as soon as that mandatory time period's up, after you don't have the reversal of fortunes, as soon as that time period's up, I am probably trying to clear my system the best that I can. It's just not healthy. It's not normal. I have not eaten 80 hot dogs in the last 10 years. I've got the odds for the contest too. We're going to get y'all dialed in there. Not so crazy Monk Kuminga trade. My question then is, what's the money on Schroeder? Does it change anything? What's the money on Schroeder? The sign and trade, I can't sit here and say that I know exactly how that works with the cap, because if the Warriors sign Kuminga and then trade him, it's not technically the Kings player that they're extending. It's the Warriors extending Kuminga. So everything would go against the cap. We need a capologist. That's what we need. Not Gangrel. It is what is it again? See, I don't even know. Danhausen. That's who it is. That's how unique I'm getting with these things. Nick Clifford stated he can play positions 1 through 3. Do you want him playing point guard? I don't know. I haven't seen his game. I need to see his game in Summer League. Size-wise, you have a little bit of an advantage there. Where's the best place he could fit in on this team? I guess that would be the question. You're log jammed at 2 because you've got Malik Monk as we sit today. You've got Devin Carter, and you've obviously got Zach LaVine, who's going to be starting. So you're looking at 1 or 3 for playing time, naturally. But positionless basket, see, that's where I need to see more. I just wish that they were running, and maybe they will, in Vegas, a little bit more structure. They'll be up pace. They'll be up tempo for sure. Stockton does that so well. So, they'll do that in Vegas. But it's 1 or 3, really, for playing time. He's not going to be your 2. as we sit today. Too many guys at that position. Let's see. I see now I need to vet what Dennis puts in before I put it on the screen. You can only use the TPE once every 2 years, though. Or is it? No, it's the biannual one. Okay. Well, okay. We're getting too far into the weeds on the financials. Way too far into the weeds. Athena, happy Thursday. It's our Friday around here, so we're wishing you a happy early 4th of July. We will not be on tomorrow unless something happens with the Kings. Beard meets food. I have seen him. He's a beast. Yes, I have. This dude goes and he'll take down like the crazy challenges and then he eats dessert after the fact. Those guys are hustlers. They find these different restaurants that have like, if you can eat all this in this time period, you get, I don't know, $2,000. Or in some cases, it's a t-shirt and a picture on the wall. But then the owners will start like kind of doing a side bet, a prop with them. Like, okay, you think you can do one? I'll bet you $4,000 you can't do 2 of them. And then whatever's put in front of them, they take down. It's nuts. It's incredible. And yeah, somebody asked this, where does DeMar DeRozan play into all this? Realistically, is there any world that DeMar DeRozan might work in Golden State? I'm just asking the question. You know, Golden State's not going to want to be paying a ton of tax, but is there any world that could happen? Very interesting. Let's go to the phones. Caller, whoever it was, call back. Love to have you on the show. Neat Clifford, most accurate comp is Kessler Edwards type. Hustle player, problem over defending and inconsistent shooting. Thank you, Ale, for your breakdown, as you see it, of Neek. We've got like 3 pages from The Athletic on him. All right, let's go to the press conference, and we can break in as we need to. Neat Clifford, Max Raynaud, introduced to the Sacramento media today from the One Center.
Of size, skill, and ability that really mirrors a lot of the big players in today's game of basketball. He's a double-double.
Dennis. The whole stretched thing was like a thing 10 years ago. This is the first time it's been done in a while. You are not stretching $18 or $19 million in a partially guaranteed year next year of DeMar's contract. It makes no sense. It's a waste of the stretch. If I looked at one contract that you might stretch and you would have to guarantee the last year for Zach LaVine, it's his. You're not doing that for DeMar DeRozan. You don't know who's going to go down during the season. Guys get hurt. He still has value. It's crazy, Dennis. You're not stretching. Somebody look up the last time a player, a big name player, was stretched before Damian Lillard. You're not going to find a recent one. You're not.
There at Stanford, we think he has a lot of growth and development in front of him. It can be very helpful. These 2 young men, we feel, are good pieces to help us move forward and establish a very solid foundation. I am real excited to watch them play starting this summer in Las Vegas, where they make their introduction to Kings Nation. But really excited to have them both here. And with that being said, I'm going to pass it over to the guy who's going to be tasked with coaching them, and that's Mr. Doug Christie.
For me,
Paolo would not be on the list for me. They're building around him, Paul. And he's going to be making, when he gets, did he get extended already? I don't remember. He's going to be making massive money. No, it wouldn't be Paolo. Would not be him. You would have to be thinking about, I don't know. I'll think about the list. Patrick, is Precious Achua still available? if you're here, Patrick? I think he is.
Pretty simple. First of all, to the families, welcome. We appreciate you, and to our Sacramento Kings family. I think that you are going to absolutely love the city, and your young men are in good hands. For them, both of them exhibit everything that Scott has talked about, which for me is like, Scott could have came and said a lot of different things and then went and drafted somebody that didn't match that. So that is, he crushed that, because for us, it means so much more to make sure that these guys exhibit everything that Kings basketball is about. And that from the jump, getting to sit down with them, go to dinner with them the other night. Where'd we go? Waterboy.
Exactly.
Yeah, very good, by the way.
Exactly.
Yes. And I found out that they both like spaghetti. Yes, large amounts of spaghetti.
Exactly.
Yes. But it was really good to sit with them and vibe and get to know them on a deeper level, because that's, for me,
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Dennis, I need you to have a better show. I need you to get it together. He's not coming off the bench here in Sacramento. Not a chance in the world, especially if you move Monk. Dennis, come on, man. Open the bottle if you need to. Come on. Get into gear, Dennis. Come on.
what a lot of, in my opinion, coaching is about, is to understand them in a way. Like the X's and O's are one thing, but to love them and appreciate them on a different level is really what we're about here. So I say to them, welcome your talent. We're going to develop you. We're going to push you hard. I know that both of you guys are going to succeed in vast ways in the NBA because of what you possess, but even more than that, the people that you are. Yeah. So with that, that's on you, big man.
No, I'm definitely very thrilled and honored to be here, to be a part of the organization. I want to give a big shout out to, Scott and Doug for just giving me this opportunity. I'm super thankful and blessed to be a part of the organization and what they're trying to build. I can't be more ecstatic to be a part of something that I feel like I've worked my whole life to be a part of. And so super, super excited for the opportunity and just to get to work with these guys, Maxine, and just a bunch of great teammates. So we'll get to work here soon, but excited to be here and thankful for all of y'all's support as well, welcoming me to Sacramento.
As Nick said, extremely excited to be a part of this organization. Obviously, thanking Scott, Doug, and everybody else in the entire staff. I think it's a dream come true for both of us to now play with the pros, have the ability to, bring our talent to a whole new level. Really appreciate you guys for showing support and love to us today. Hopefully we can give that back to you guys by participating to this whole team effort of, building a culture and hopefully win many games. So thrilled to be here and very excited to start.
Now before we open it up for questions, I just want to give one footnote. I promise you we did not send a memo to have these guys in matching attire. But this is just one this is just one further piece of evidence, though, the class that these two young men have. And they were, that they came dressed really nice, so that even reaffirmed our decision to bring them here. So no, but anyway, time for any questions? Fire away. We want volunteers, not hostages. We want volunteers, not hostages. That's right.
No doubt.
Coach Frank Manesh from Colorado State told me about a Joker mentality and a mask on when you take the floor. Can you explain a little bit about that and if that's following you to the NBA?
Yeah, that's a tattoo I got. Joker was my favorite supervillain, which is kind of crazy to say, but I kind of used it as an alter ego. You see a lot of the great players like Kobe, Michael Jordan, all those people got their alter egos that they basically turn into when they're on the court. And so for me, it was a mentality to just, be almost a killer when you're on the court. Like, you can't care what people think about you. You just got to go hard and go do what you're supposed to do and take care of business. So for me, it was a mentality part of it. And then, Coach Ali definitely helped me kind of realize that and use that as a way to just go out there and be myself every time I play and don't care what everybody says on the outside. Just let the work speak for itself.
JP from CBS 13 over here, guys. Max, for you, we haven't had a chance to talk to you yet after being drafted by the Kings. Were you surprised to be taken 42nd overall by them, and what's the initial reaction you had when taking the Kings?
I'm just excited and blessed by the opportunity. I think that's what draft night is about, right? Making your dream come true. And then we talked with Nick, but I was extremely excited to get to the franchise that drafted him too, because we already saw each other in a workout earlier during the process, and we had this 45-minute conversation in the hot tub after practice. So it was good to see him drafted there too. It's close to what's home for me here, Stanford, and obviously Scott has a massive resume. Doug, former player here as well, so I think we're in good hands. It's just nothing but positive.
Nick, excuse me, a quick question about the bling around your neck here. I think everybody was wondering, there's got to be a story behind this.
Man, it was it was actually supposed to be for the draft, and my pendant didn't come in time. And I told one of the reporters, I don't know where he's at, but yeah, I told him I was gonna wear it to the press conference. So I had to stand on my word. But it's Clifford the Big Red Dog. My last name, something for the kids that they all love, and it's kind of represents who I am. So I had to rock it today. My man.
Over here on the left, guys, in the back. This question is more for Doug, but maybe Max, if you kind of want to weigh in on this. So Scott said that you're a double-double machine. You guys are blessed that you already have a double-double machine on the team. So, Coach Christie, how do you plan on using Max with Domantas Sabonis on the court at the same time? And for Max, how do you feel about playing Domantas?
Well, listen, I think Max's talents speak for themselves first and foremost, but rebounding is never something that you don't need enough of. His size, his skill set, I think with Domas can mix in a big way, because Domas shot 40% from above the arc and 50 in the corner. Max, just watching him play, he can shoot. Pump fakes, puts the ball on the deck. So now you have playmakers in all the positions. So, and that's kind of what we want to play, is positionless basketball with the ability to move the ball around the court and share it. So I think seamless. Max is going to have to take his bumps and bruises as a rookie. That's just how it goes. I think that goes for both of them. But I know both of these guys have a burning desire to be great. So should be seamless and easy. But it's sunny outside today, and I'm saying that sitting here. But when it gets down there, we'll have to see. Yeah.
This is actually a question for both of you. Domantas Sabonis tweeted out, after the draft drive today, it's time to get to work. I just don't know, have y'all met up with him yet and talked to him and get an idea of it? Because I know he's looking forward to playing alongside you guys.
To your last point, I think he's someone I've looked up to for the past couple of years. I know at Stanford, especially my sophomore year, we based our offense a lot around the Kings and the split action they used to have. So in that regard, yeah, he's a big inspiration for me. I do believe he's also a big family guy, and I think he has.
So really quick, that is a different action. That's the coachy offense, when you bring the two bigs up to the elbows right below the nail. So that was interesting to hear, because Jerry Reynolds has been saying, I really think the Kings could be successful if they try to run that with Domas and another big, even Valanciunas. So could that be in the works? We'll see.
He has time with his family right now. We're still rookies trying to settle down here in the city. But to your point, we started working already. I've been here for a couple of days. Nick just got cleared as well. So it's just time for us to go to work. We have the summer league coming up, and then preseason is coming really fast as well. So we'll have plenty of time during season to work out with him.
Acknowledge me.
No, I haven't got the chance to meet him either. Super excited and looking forward to playing with a guy like that, so unselfish, true winner, and just plays basketball the right way. So, I'm very, very excited and looking forward to getting to meet him and getting to, build that chemistry with him.
I think the long-term goal is for you to be the best all-around player you could be. But where do you see yourself making the biggest impact as a rookie?
Honestly, it's just finding my way. Finding.
Yeah, haunted horse, bad timing, bro. Awful timing. Terrible. Same thing by Lyft. It was either Lyft or Uber. Horse, don't give yourself a pat on the back for that. I know you will. Actually, Horse paid for that advertising on this video right here. That was a paid advertisement from HollywoodRejects.com, for the record.
Finding any way to impact the game, whether that's defense, rebounding, knocking down shots when I get them, and just trying to be impactful every time I step on the court. And whatever my role is, whatever coach sees me as and throws me into, I feel like I can go do it at a high level. And I just want to contribute to winning. That's my ultimate goal. So whatever that looks like, just got to approach every single day as an opportunity to get better and just learn from all the knowledge and guys I have around me.
Question for Maxine. What does it mean for you to be drafted so close to Stanford State in Northern California, and how might being so close made it easier to transition into the NBA? Well, I was gonna make it easier to move my stuff. That's for sure. But 2 years ago, as you may know, like in college, we have maybe 2 days, like 48 hours for Christmas, go back to your families and stuff like that. I don't necessarily have the opportunity to go back to Paris just because of the travel, right? So 2 years ago, Issa Silva, who was one of my teammates, who's from Sacramento, hosted me there for Christmas, and we had the chance to go watch one of the Kings games. So being drafted here 2 years later made kind of full circle. Still extremely grateful for his family and for the new family that we're having here. So it means the world to me. I think it's going to make the transition a little bit easier, and hopefully we can win some more wins to California for sure.
Hi, Scott. Question for you, if you don't mind, Jason.
There is.
You got a lot of credit for the kind of the value that you seem to have found in these guys in the draft. Nick being projected a little bit higher. Projected a little bit higher. How good do you feel about the value, and how important is that in drafting to be able to kind of find guys like this?
No, I'm extremely excited about it. Feel really good. Anytime you can go into a draft and come out with two guys where we ended up selecting that you had graded a lot higher, I think that's a great thing. And, my years of experience in the NBA, I've seen that pay off a lot. I've been a part of that being paid off before, and I'd be remiss if I didn't really give a lot of credit though to my staff, the entire front office staff, from my assistant general manager, B.J. Armstrong, to Phil Jabor, Paul Johnson, Tom Perry, Mark Toyota, you name them all, Zach and Marshall, all the analytics guys, Gabe, and Alvin Gentry. They were all a big help to me. Penny and Sam, where's Penny and Sam? The process, you need a village to really help you pull something like that off too, because you take a lot of input, especially for me coming back into the game after being in you guys' seats a little bit. Being at ESPN, I wasn't out as much coming into this job, so they really all were very helpful into making that happen. So excited about it.
Doug, over here. Question for you. You talked about summer league. Any chance you have an idea who will be coaching summer league for you, and then as well anybody on the current roster that will be competing as well?
The roster will be out maybe tomorrow, but Depeche Mystery is going to be the head coach of Summer League, and as you've heard, these two guys will be on Summer League as well. Just to echo Scott's sentiments, though, what those guys did was in the front office was magnificent, because Scott's toted me around to some places and showed me some things. That I have a new respect and understanding for what goes on in there. So I say to them as well, well done, you guys.
But Nick, Scott mentioned, after the draft, they handled the ball a lot.
Personally, I think it would be below Bobby. If I'm being honest, if you asked Bobby to coach Summer League, I think it would be below him. I think Bobby can be used in much better places, especially with player development with your older guys here in Sacktown. So that's just my take on it. Back to the press conference.
How do you feel comfortable about playing a point guard position and have played over the course of your career?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up playing point guard, so I'm comfortable in that position. But for me, the trajectory of my career, I've been able to play 1 through 3, and so I feel like I could play any of those positions. And like I said earlier, whatever I'm thrown into, I feel like I'm capable of going and doing. But just excited for the opportunity to learn from even guys coming in like Dennis Schroeder, and different teammates that I'm gonna have. I'm gonna be able to learn from those guys and get more comfortable in every position. But yeah, I'm comfortable playing, I'd say 1 through 3.
Over here on the left, Jeremiah Solomon. For both of you guys, Kings fans obviously have a reputation on the NBA being some of the loudest, most raucous fans in the league. Obviously, there's the Keegan Murray chant, things like that. Do you guys expect anything of that to kind of develop around you guys? Maybe something with Clifford, or like what are you looking forward to most with the fans and just your NBA experience here in Sacramento?
I mean, for me, I'd say I'm excited to light that beam. I'm definitely excited for that. But as well as that, I've heard so many great things about the fan base and just how they show you love, and I've already experienced it being here for 2 days. And just the love they show, the support, I'm just super excited to be a part of that and be a part of the community, honestly, getting to know everybody, all the people that come and support us. I want to get to know them and show that love right back to them.
During the draft, Luke was kind of compared to you and your playing style. When you watch, I'm just curious, when you watch him in film.
2 quick things. Shout out Michelle Dapper, who is asking this question. And the question before, that guy almost lost it. Somehow he kept that rig on the road. He started going like, what do you expect? A Keegan, a Clifford, and he turned it around. So credit to him as well. That got close. That was almost one of those questions you don't ask. If you get the opportunity to ask a question, you don't waste it on that.
In film and whatnot, does it remind you of yourself a bit?
A bit, because when I watch him, first of all, he's got hair, so that's well done, sir. But his ability to do so many different things as a coach helps you, because there's ways to keep him on the floor, because he can defend, he can rebound, he can shoot, he can handle the basketball. So that was an attribute of mine that I think helped me throughout my career. And, latching on defensively, I think for a young player early is probably the greatest way to earn yourself playing time. But his ability to do other things, grab a rebound, push the ball, he's not selfish, so willing to share the basketball. Minus the hair, I feel you. I feel you. Yeah.
So really quick, Paul, are you talking about Scott or are you talking about Doug? Because Scott was talking about his front office. And he talked about some of the analytics guys. And I think he also mentioned, he didn't say Gabe Harris, but he said Gabe, who is the GM down in Stockton. So I don't think Scott mentioned really anybody else but Doug from the coaching staff with the draft process. Now, doesn't mean they don't have input, but you would have had to mention the entire staff.
Yeah, I did. I think you might have too, bro.
To Brennan and Sacramento Sports right here, guys, what's going on? Congratulations. To Nick and Maxime, just what's sort of this moment like for you guys? How much were you eyeing the NBA, throughout your collegiate career and making it to this moment? Just, you're sitting here at your NBA introductory press conference. What's this like for you?
Sorry, bro. I think as any competitor, you want to compete at the highest level. So I'm pretty sure that's something both of us been aiming and having as a goal for the past many years. Also, that's something that you dream about when you're a kid. I mean, when we went to dinner the other day, we have a 3-time NBA champion over there. We have people that play with his favorite player, Kobe Bryant. We've had people that coach them, et cetera, et cetera. So hearing about these stories make it even more real and make it even more excited for you to be here now. So I think it was a goal of ours. I'm glad we get there, but once again, it's not the finish line. This is just the start. This is where you have to double down your work. You have to listen even more. You have to adapt, and I think we're both willing to do that.
Yeah, I would agree to his point. You know, it's a dream. It still doesn't even feel real that I'm sitting here right now, but you know, we've worked our whole lives for this moment, and so, like you said, it's just the beginning. But you know, there's so much more work to be done. But you know, you got to take it all in and be extremely grateful for, you know, the position we're sitting in, because it's probably 0.001% of people in the world that get to do this. So just being grateful for that opportunity, and then, you know, just getting back to the drawing board and trying to get better. So yeah.
So that was the intro. There was a couple more questions. We played out Doug's response to the guys and their time in college and them playing close to their eligibility out and how that helps them step onto the court. I think what's really clear to me is they're expecting those guys to contribute right away. Like I think back and I don't remember a press conference where you have a number 1 pick and a number 2 pick. Now, I should qualify this with the number 1 pick may have been much higher than Nick Clifford, where he was grabbed at 24. But I don't remember a balanced press conference between the 1 pick and the 2 pick. And maybe that's just something small, something semantics. But I found that interesting. As many questions for Max as there was Neek. They both come off extremely well. They seem to be very intelligent. Will that cross over to basketball? You would think so. But your first chance to see them is going to be Summer League. And I think it's going to be interesting. I've said it before, as recently as yesterday, this Kings team, and without seeing Nick Clifford. And by the way, if you're going to Summer League, it is ridiculous what they are charging you for a ticket per day. They're charging $72 to get into the gym. That's nuts. Come on, Adam. That you're going to price fans out. Those are your hardcores of your hardcores. $72 should be like a River Cats grass seat. $72. Come on, NBA. But without seeing them step onto the court, and Doug said that we're going to get the roster here in the next couple days. We've seen a small list of some of the signings. I don't have the complete list right here in front of me. I'm sure you guys can fill them in the chat, the ones we know. Isaac Noguez Gonzalez, Dylan Cardwell, Jabari Abdur-Rahim. There's a Sacramento connection. Pat McCaffrey. Very close to Pat McAfee. Pat McCaffrey. All right, so those are the ones that I have in front of me right there. So they'll fill that out. I would expect, and maybe not until the trade debt or the free agency plays out, I was hoping I would see Devin Carter full-time in Summer League. And by the way, IJ and Isaiah Crawford were both in my backyard playing in a pro league. It's a pro development league here in Elk Grove yesterday. So that's kind of cool. They're going to most likely be in Vegas for Summer League as well. But I guess what I'm saying, if you have all of those elements there, that's almost more experience than almost any other Summer League teams probably going to have. So I would expect the Kings to play really well. If Devin Carter plays, I need to see Devin Carter dominate. We saw him do it in the G League. And more important than dominate, I need to see Devin Carter be able to run an offense. But if he's going to be involved in trade talks right now, possibly, allegedly, per numerous sources, then you're going to want to make sure he stays healthy. So that's an interesting thing to me as well. So what sticks out to you from the press conference? What do you think? Oh, no problem, Peter. Thanks for being here, buddy. Paul, all good, dude. No question is a bad question. Patrick says, should try to encourage attendance. Their prices instead of pricing them out. I'd rather spend $72 on a Vegas show. I'd rather spend $72 on a Vegas blackjack table. That's crazy. For Summer League, let me put it to you this way. You are paying to see the top picks. That's what you're paying to see. Because everything else with Summer League, it's probably a step below the G League. At least a step below the G League. Because not everybody playing in Summer League can play in the G League. So if I can get into a G League game for 5 ducats, come on, $72. That's a lot of money. Anyways, getting sidetracked. There you go. Me too. Good contribution. Adam, good job by you, man. We'll be doing our wrestling segment here in a little bit because this is our Friday on the King's Court. Hope everybody is having an excellent day. And yeah, as Adam said, you don't even need $72 to go to Bennett's. You can get out of Bennett's. You can get in and out much cheaper. Go to happy hour, 2 to 6 o'clock every day of the week. Also, if you take that 72 on the weekends, 12 to 2 o'clock, it's going to get you 2 entrees and a bottle of champagne for weekend brunch at all 3 locations, Rockland, Roseville, Howe, and Fair Oaks. Go to bennettsrestaurants.com. You can look at all of their different menus. And man, I try to diversify. I try not to be guard heavy if I'm going to relate this to the Kings on what I order there, but you can get hooked on something there really easily. But anyways, do me a favor, go check them out. Again, bennettsrestaurants.com. Everybody that has gone over there has given us rave reviews. I told you the deal. If you have a bad meal, hit me up. But I've also given you the fine print when it comes to that. Brian, the staff, Margot, everybody out there at Bennett's, awesome people to deal with. You can make reservations, buy gift cards. You can put in to-go orders. You can sign up for their newsletters and much more. bennettsrestaurants.com. Prime cuts of seafood and steak. Thanks to them for sponsoring today's episode of The King's Court. Also,
order in the court.
This is the pre-show to Grant, 8 o'clock tonight. He'll be joining you to wrap up the day. I'm sure he'll have some unique thoughts on some of the other reports that have come out. It looks like, per Mark Stein, by the way, let me throw this in, that the fact that Valanciunas, the heck is going, y'all hear that banging? Holy moly. Anyways, what's going on in there? Did the dog get out? Mark Stein is reporting that Valanciunas, regardless of him possibly wanting to go back to Europe to play in the EuroLeague, it's not going to affect any deal with the Kings. Reportedly, Denver continues to lobby Valanciunas to stay here. But Grant will be here 8 o'clock taking your calls. A lot of good calls last night. Give him a call again tonight right here on the channel. And I hope everybody has a really good and safe 4th of July. Inevitably, like we hear the bad news every 4th of July where somebody gets caught in the current in the river, somebody blows a finger off with fireworks. I hope that is none of you. Spread the word. Be safe. I want you to be here for the shows next week. Want you around for some Kings basketball. But do you guys and gals have a lot of illegal fireworks going off in your neighborhoods? We have had a ton the last couple of years. Fire risk, man. I think about LA and how those fires got sparked. So we've talked a lot of Kings. I got to get to this really quick. It's one of my favorite things on the 4th of July. It is the hot dog eating contest, Nathan's. Now, I boycotted this last year. I hard boycotted it because they did not allow Joey Chestnut to participate because he had a sponsorship with a non-meat competitor, a competitor that made a dog that was animal free. Yo, Nathan's, Joey Chestnut is the show. I don't know how the ratings did last year, but I can't imagine they were great. In fact, Joey Chestnut, being the guy that he is, he got his own Netflix. Whoa, what was that? That is your brain getting like 5 steps ahead of your mouth. That was weird. My bad, y'all. I mean, I'm sorry for that. That's not.
I don't like that, actually. I know you guys think it's fun, but I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like when I do that.
I don't
Forgive
like
me.
that, actually. I know you guys think it's fun, but I don't like that.
Sitting here talking for a living. Can't get a couple words out. Anyways, Joey Chestnut had his own Netflix special last year and did it on a military base. He put down like 80 dogs, I want to say. So here are some interesting bets in the odds. And check this out. This is what got me. It was how like the little things matter to the bettors in the eaters. Listen to this.
Joey Chestnut makes his triumphant return to the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest, and I'm ready with your best bets for this holiday tradition unlike any other. Oddly enough, you want to keep an eye on the weather before this event gets underway. Typically, higher humidity means lower scores. In 2020, when this was held indoors in perfect conditions, Joey Chestnut and Miki Sudo absolutely shattered world records. Tomorrow's forecast is 84 degrees, 48% humidity, which means we could be in for some above average totals. Here's the bet I love. Patrick Bertoletti to win without Chestnut. Last year, without Joey Chestnut in the contest, Bertoletti scarfed 58 dogs and won the whole thing. He's apparently improved his technique and knows that Chestnut hasn't eaten less than 60 dogs in 15 years. At DraftKings, Bertoletti is minus 110 for this market. Other books have it juiced minus 150 all the way up to minus 170, so there's some serious value here. Seasoned eating pros Jeffrey Esper and James Webb are hovering in the high 40s and the low 50s, so they might be some competition, but they haven't shown that extra gear to get it done like Bertoletti did last year. So get your ketchup and mustard ready, place your bets, and enjoy America's most delicious tradition.
If you are a part of Prize Picks, they're currently offering you basically a free winning pick. I wish there was a code Raynaud if you're going to be on Prize Picks. Prize Picks, what's up? 0.5 hot dogs eaten by Joey Chestnut. That's a guaranteed win. Are you going over or under, more or less with Miki Sudo? She's the female Joey Chestnut. She's at 46 3/4 hot dogs tomorrow. Patrick Bertoletti, 54.25. Chestnut, 71.25. Oh my gosh. You can parlay eaters. James Webb, Jeffrey Esper, 100.75 dogs between the two of them. And then there's lonely Camille O'Brien. I'm rooting for Camille. She looks like an amateur. 8.25 hot dogs eaten. Am I the only one that considers this part of 4th of July? I just do. It grosses my wife out, understandably so. It kind of grosses me out when they start dipping the buns. Like if you're going to dip it in water, even that's a little bit weird. But when you start doing like the fruit punches and all that, it just gets wild. So I will be checking it out. We will see who wins the mustard belt. Chestnut plus 1,600 to win the mustard belt again. You're making me hungry for Bennett's. Then go get some. If you can still drive right now. Can you drive? Dennis, you good? All right. Very good. We've got wrestling coming up here in a few minutes. We can still talk free agency, talk Kings. If you weren't with us at the top of the show, there is a lot of reports circulating around the Kings, Malik Monk, Jonathan Kuminga. This was actually NBC Sports California's report on it.
Sports California, that's Brian's sister station because he works for NBC Sports Boston. The Warriors, Kings, and the Pistons discussing a 3-team blockbuster trade that would send, wait for it, Jonathan Kuminga and veteran point guard Dennis Schroeder to Sacramento in separate sign and trade deals. Schroeder reportedly is agreed to a 3-year, $45 million contract with the Kings. The Kings, in turn, would send Malik Monk to the Pistons and second-year guard Devin Carter and newly acquired big man Dario Saric to the Golden State Warriors. You like that deal for the Warriors? Jonathan Kuminga, you're going to get Devin Carter and Dario Saric back, who's been on the Warriors before, I believe.
Can we all agree that whether Saric stays in Sacramento or he goes in a deal, I think he's going to get waived. He's going to get bought out. We'll see. James Ham put a report out that was in the chat earlier about Kuminga landing in Sacramento. He believes he will. Now, doesn't mean it's via this deal that he would land in Sacramento. Yes, I do, fans. That was like a massive deal. Wasn't that Kobayashi's? If you weren't with me earlier, fans, I talked about Kobayashi's downfall and like how it was this really weird thing. I think that's what spurred it. It was that face-off. He lost it after he lost to Chestnut. As for the trade, when we talked earlier this week and Malik Monk for Schroeder sign-in trade talks were on the table, I had stated no. That would not happen, not anything close to what it would take to get Malik Monk out of Sacramento. The word going around, which is consistent with what I've heard, is the belief is Malik's going to be here in Sacramento. But if Kuminga's on the table, what's that mean? I guess that kind of changes things when you look at the balance. I don't like it. I talked about all the reasons at the beginning of the show why I don't like it. Losing Malik Monk. I do like having Kuminga. So I can't have the best of both worlds. I can't have my cake and eat it too. But let's say that did happen. That also sends Devin Carter out, which takes me to the point that I tweeted out earlier today. Is Scott Perry looking at Nick Clifford at playing the one or having time at the one? Is he in the conversation when the Kings and Scott Perry talk about the point guards on the roster? Because as we sit today, Nick Clifford's not in line to get playing time at the 2. It would either be the 3 or it would be the 1. And then you've got Doug Christie today that was talking about positionless basketball. So who knows? A lot of things up in the air. I have not heard anything when it comes to Kuminga, but I did hear not a chance in the world, something straight up from Malik Monk and Dennis Schroeder. That never made any sense. So take it for what it's worth. A lot going around this week with free agency, which is ongoing. Caught the documentary. Yes, indeed. Good documentary. Maybe I'll go back and rewatch that. I'm going to rewatch it. I've been watching some not questionable documentaries. We watched the documentary on the Titanic submersible that imploded. We watched that last weekend. And then there's this show on Netflix that basically follows like these crazy stories, but they do a pretty good job of documenting it. And it's about the cruise that lost power. Not going to talk about what they called that cruise. You can go figure it out yourself. It's on Netflix. But we ended up watching that one too. And while it's like super unsettling, it was very interesting as well. Yes, I did. 100%, Tay. We were done with Squid Games. We were done by Sunday. We binged it, season 3. Do I like it? First, I would need to know Kaminga's number. That's the first thing. A Kaminga Keegan front line intrigues me. To me, that is a nice kind of build for the future. I should. I need to put more time into looking at Kaminga's defense, because when I think about him, I don't think as much about that end of the floor. But that would play into it. I think losing Malik Monk for me is just hard to swallow. If you lost Malik Monk, and tell me if I'm wrong or if you feel different, but if you lose Malik Monk, I think we can officially close the door on the Beam Team era. Yes, it was the Carnival. Yes. I think we can officially close the door on the Beam Team era. We cap that at 3 years. No more talking about making the playoffs, 46 wins, and what happened last season. We close that chapter if Monk's gone. Conversely, with this being a young team, Malik Monk, I said it at the top of the show, probably the most vocal leader in that locker room, not just for the team, but for the players individually. A lot of times he will speak up if they don't want to speak up about something to the coaches. When things get too low in the locker room, he brings the guys back up, gets it a little bit lighter, and vice versa. How he came back to Sacramento, how much he loves Sacramento, the fact that, the community activism award that the Kings give out, he's won that twice in a row the last 2 years. It's really hard for me to think about a team without Malik Monk, because, and that's, I haven't even talked about the energy he brings. If you look at what the Kings did last season, the second half of the season, when Sabonis went down and Valanciunas stepped in, the Kings were okay. They made it through that gap, right? Reasonably enough to keep them in the play-in. But when Malik Monk went down at the end of the season, or towards the closing of the season, the Kings barely limped into the play-in. They limped into the play-in losing. And I think that, to me, and not to compare Monk's value to Sabonis's value, I just think Malik brings something different. Now, new isn't necessarily wrong. Different isn't always bad. But as I said today, and also you got to think it includes Devin Carter as well. So there is your 3 players, assuming Schroeder, one way or the other, whether it's part of a trade or whether he signs with the Kings 3 years, 45 mil as a free agent. Assuming Schroeder's here, that gives you Dennis Schroeder at point guard, and then that gives you Nick Clifford at point guard. Who else are you playing at the point? Is there going to be somebody else included? And this is under the assumption that Carter has a good summer and he's able to play the point. So it's a loaded question, Paul. I don't know. I think you lose a ton of chemistry. I mean, the Kings could not get anything going. Now, here, I'll take it a step further. We can't deny the energy, the fearlessness that Malik Monk plays with, and how that can be contagious. We can't deny that. But did the Kings lose last season at the end of the year when they were playing point guard by committee? And I guess you could say Keon maybe at the point, but that's not his natural position. But were the Kings losing because it wasn't so much Malik was out, it was you only really had one true creator left on the court? One true creator. I thought DeMar could create for his teammates. He could pass, but Sabonis was the only one. He was the facilitator. Is that why they lost? Was it a roster imbalance, which we know that imbalance has been there, where the Kings have been very heavy on finishers and very low on creators? It's a tough one. It's a tough one. I mean, it would be Scott Perry's way of closing the book on the Beam team if you trade Malik Monk. Does anybody disagree with me there? Maybe that book and that story's already written, but it feels like that is like closing the book and putting it on the shelf. It was a 3-year period. This is how it worked out. This is now something new. So we'll see. There's a big, and you got to remember this, there's a big Kuminga market right now. There is. There's a lot of teams that want Kuminga. So wrestling coming up in just a couple of minutes. Reports say Kuminga wants $30 million per year. Well, Malik's on a fair contract. I think Malik is getting paid exactly what he's worth. So it's tough. I would ask Grant that tonight at 8:00. It's a great question for Grant. What's that look like for him? Does he think that works for the Kings? You're either doubling down on your problem with not having enough creators, which Domas...
Well, the biggest thing is we need a point guard, that's for sure.
And in this case, you need more than just...
Well, the biggest thing is we need a point guard, that's for sure.
You need multiple point guards. So are you doubling down on your problem, or are you making the team better? We haven't seen Neek play. It's Summer League. And even then, you can't judge. You get a good idea from Summer League if somebody's going to be different. I think Keegan Murray is an example of that. But we don't know yet. So you almost have to make that decision before you know, if you're Scott Perry. And maybe they do, looking at analytics. And again, go look at my X timeline. People were like blown away that I said Scott Perry might be looking at Neek as A1. I think somebody put LOL. Are you laughing now after the press conference? Are you laughing now at some of these options that might be on the table? So a lot of reporting, Jason Anderson saying that it's shut down. So who knows? I have not touched bases with anybody when it comes to something dealing with Kuminga. Let's get these last comments out of the way, and we're getting to wrestling. This is your tip of the hat. Have a great weekend if you are not sticking around with us for the wrestling segment. If you like wrestling, if you like a little bit more banter, entertainment, maybe give it a little try. Adam and I have a good time talking about WWE, and who knows where it will take us. Trust me, we'll talk a little bit of everything. Some Kings, WWE. But if it's not for you, I understand. Have a great 4th, and thanks for sticking around. Come join Grant at 8:00 tonight. All right, let's go. Get ready. Talk about this minivans for Cena. Yeah, that's coming up. That'll be part of it. Would love the Kings to make cap space to go after Jalen Williams in 2 years. I think that OKC moves forward with SGA and Chet. I agree with you, Tay. Not so much that, I mean, I would love the Kings to have Jalen Williams, but I don't know if that's feasible, number one. Jalen Williams would even want to come here, or if he'll be available. But to your bigger point, I do think OKC, you've seen this decision before. They let Harden go. I think Jalen Williams is the odd man out. You know why? You have to have Chet with Wemby in the same conference. You have to. And Chet's offense left a lot to be desired, in my opinions. Zubac. If we trade Sabonis, he already got traded, didn't he? No, Nurkic got traded. I don't think the Clippers are letting go of him. He's pretty important to what they do. Pretty important. Dennis, very high on Max and life or alcohol or Bennett. I don't know. You can have Keon. It's not his natural thing, Derek. You're going to run into the same problems you ran into last year, unless Keon's developed that in the offseason. CJ Washington and Zion, Jaylen Brown. That's what you want. Pure B. Is that what it is? Be interesting to see what the Celtics do. They're dismantling. Will they give Jaylen Brown the opportunity to show that he can be a one? What about De'Aaron Fox? We're how many days into free agency? He hasn't been extended yet. Anybody find that curious? Losing Monk, you lose chemistry big time. Yes, I would agree. That's what I was trying to lay out. Raynaud has good defense or a good offensive game. And Hands has the potential. He's the 42nd pick. Clearly. Okay. So the Kings, what they seem to believe and what they're selling to you, you all are buying. If we're seeing comparisons to Zubac's right now, Jerry Reynolds thought that that's what Scott Perry's kind of betting on. I think it's what Scott Perry's betting on. So look, you could be spot on, and we might be in for a surprise, or we might be in for a giant letdown. But either way, I think the Kings play into, or I think the rookies play heavily into what they're going to do. Don't think Grant's on board with a Malik Kuminga trade. All right, fair enough. All right. Hope everybody has a great weekend if you're not sticking around for wrestling, but you really should stick around for wrestling. It is a fun conversation, which, as Justin said, sometimes we get into minivans, whatever. Adam and I will sometimes go off on tangents, but he is our resident wrestling expert around here. He will be backstage. Yes, backstage at the AEW WrestleMania. Like, this guy is legit. And by the way, he is a official Uso. He was donned that by world champion Jay Uso. Adam Uso, welcome to the conversation.
What's up, brother? Sorry about that. Hold on. Oh boy. Okay, we're in.
Oh, wow, we.
Oh, wow, we. Well,
very nice.
I like very much.
What's up, dude?
What's up, bro?
Happy 3rd of July.
Yes, sir. Happy 3rd of July. Did you get your fireworks?
No, I did not get my fireworks. You know why? This is really bad. So I tithe, which I should, with my church. I give to my church. But our church sells fireworks. And whatever they don't sell, they light off. So we usually end up over there because it's not too far from the house. And I'm guessing our fireworks here are a little bit different than the fireworks available to you, my man.
Yes, I went to the fireworks store today with my son and we picked out some stuff. What's up, everyone? And we have, all the firecrackers, Roman candles and mortars and all that kind of stuff. It's all available to
mortars.
Us. Yeah. Oh my God, dude. There was probably no joke, 100-foot wall, just all mortars, all different mortars that you could buy. And, I don't know. I'm not that risky. I don't want to cause trouble. I hate it when my neighbors light them off, which they do. Like, I can go out to my backyard and get a full fireworks show from all my neighbors. So I'll enjoy that part. But we got some fountains. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah. We got the fireworks out here.
Good. Okay, I'm gonna start. True or false? Night of Champions was the best WWE show of the year so far.
False.
Okay. Best Saudi show?
True.
Okay. What do you think of Night of Champions?
I don't know. I'll be honest. It didn't really captivate me. I don't know if it's the like early start time or something, because lately I haven't been watching SmackDown live. I've been watching it the next morning so I can skip through all the commercials. I'm sorry. The 3-hour SmackDown is just too much for me.
It's gone back to 2. It's gone back to 2. They officially announced it.
But is it forever?
I think it's permanent. Yeah, they're going back to 2.
What a grumpy old man he is. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know. The 3-hour stuff, it's just too much. Like it's Friday night. Like I want to be done with it by 9:00 my time and, go play Fortnite or whatever beyond that. But
do adult things, Fortnite.
Yeah. Fortnite. Yeah. If you're not, hey, add me up. If you're in the chat and you play Fortnite, hit me up.
My son plays Fortnite. Yeah.
It wasn't a bad show. I just don't think I was like captivated by it. I don't know.
Okay, can I make an argument?
Yeah, sure.
Let me make my argument.
Yes. That's right. We got all that stuff out here, Justin.
Those are real things.
Oh, you never had a whistling bunghole?
Those are not real.
So real.
Stop it. Anyways, okay, let me make my argument for Night of Champions. First off, and with the Saudi shows, when they first started, I don't know what they're called, the royals, the princes, whoever they are. They had like their own couches in the front rows, TV side, and the entire show, the building was made like pretty much of them, and it was like a sprinkling of wrestling fans, right? And this was different. And by the way, the Royal Rumble's going to be there.
Yeah.
Which is notable, but this was different. This was an arena full of wrestling fans with a tiny sprinkling of the princes, the royals that weren't even on TV. And I thought the fans freaking brought it. I thought Cody Orton, match of the year candidate, the story that it told with Randy's back, Cody kind of working heelish, awesome start. Really good match. I forget the match after that. What was the match after that?
I got it. Was it Jade Cargill and Asuka?
No, it wasn't
Raquel.
It was no, I think it was Sammy. Was it Sammy?
Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross was like 3 or 4.
No, it was Ripley and Raquel. This was the best performance by Raquel Rodriguez that I've ever seen in her career.
And, I like Raquel. I know there's a lot of haters out there on Raquel, but I like Raquel. And yes, is she a little botchy at times? Possibly. But that was an awesome match between those two. I wish it would have ended differently. Rhea doesn't need to win to put her over. And I think maybe there's a missed opportunity there to kind of propel Rhea and her new tag team partner, Roxanne, put a little more cred on him there. So I didn't love the finish. I did pick Raquel to win last week, and I lost that one, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, you know why they picked Rhea, because Rhea is now going to face Io. She's going to main event Evolution. So then you move in to, was it Jacob and Solo? No, I think it was Sammy then.
Zayn and Karrion Kross. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Karrion Kross, best performance I've seen from him. The crowd went nuts for him.
It's also the only performance you've seen from Karrion Kross in the last year in a ring.
Yes and no. True. They battled the White Sixes, didn't they? Briefly.
I mean, it was probably 6 months ago. If he did, I don't remember.
Okay. Well, I thought it was excellent. I thought it was a really good match. Well, actually, I thought it was a really good showing by him. I think you're right when you said they're going to build Sami Zayn to winning the Rumble, especially if it's in Saudi Arabia. No doubt. But okay, as we get through the show, I don't like Solo, but I thought Solo looked like a star there. And then I go back to your thing last week about these two bloodlines, and there's so many other people, and some Damian Priest looking bloodline guy that's a legit part of the bloodline that looks like they print these guys out of 3D printers shows up, and you're off to the races there. Yeah, and then even Cena's stuff, I thought it was really good. You got the botch finishes again, but then Mac, hey Mac, I love you, brother. Don't live X me when it comes to the events because I might not be watching. I had to save his comments. I do like when Mac hits the show up though. I thought Cena showed us, and this is where I'll hand it to you. I thought Cena showed us exactly what he was hinting at. You know, we keep talking about when he's going to turn face or when he's, you know, I think he is literally going with the crowd show to show.
And that's kind of what they've been talking about is that I think Cena did a press conference at that Fanatics thing, and he admitted that they're going to kind of take the Cena character wherever the crowd wants to take it, which is interesting. And I wonder if that kind of plays into The Rock's absence with this whole thing. I don't know. I just think at some point The Rock's got to show back up, and I think you're spot on. Probably a month ago when you called out the double turn that's going to happen at SummerSlam, and I think we saw it the week prior to Night of Champions. We saw it Night of Champions. You saw Cody do some weird things where he didn't really second guess hitting Randy when it was against his morals.
And Randy's the one that did.
With Randy, right. And so what kind of world are we living in? Now you've got Randy who's got a conscience, and he kind of psyched himself up to do the punt on Cody's head that he dodged. But yeah, the writing's on the wall there, and I don't know how I feel about it. I still think Cody should be a face guy, but maybe that's kind of a little mix up that we need, because you need a super facey dude, and maybe that sets up something for LA Knight to take that throne. I hope.
I would argue, and I think you make some good points there. With the way Night of Champions went down with Cody and Orton, you've got the other very good option, if you don't do a double turn there, of Orton screwing Cody and Orton turning. You keep Cody face, and now you're getting that feud. Give me more. Give me more of that.
Yeah, 100%. I think you're totally right. I think we have different options out there and in different ways we could go with it. Obviously, Randy doesn't have the shot at Cena for SummerSlam, but yeah, who knows? Maybe there's some weird interference there, and Randy could block Cody from beating Cena, although I do think this is where we see Cena drop the belt, probably at SummerSlam.
If Cena drops the belt, is he automatically just face again?
No. And so in my mind, I'm like, okay, what happens if he drops the belt at SummerSlam? I think in some weird way, he is still gonna leave that final match as champion and walk away with the belt. And so we've talked about 17, but is he going to be 18? That's where my mind goes, because I could see him beating a heel Cody Rhodes as a face and walking away.
Okay, let me take you a different direction. I think, and I'm going to double down on my take about if Cena loses the belt, he's automatically going to be face, because the assumption is going to be if he loses the belt, he's going to get a massive ovation, because you're thinking it's the last time that he's ever going to have the belt again. Like, you remember the Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair stuff? like the ovation.
I love you.
You know, listen, this is what's going to happen if Cena drops the belt. You're going to have that moment when he's in the ring in front of 80,000 people in New York.
Yeah, and I think about Cena's timeline. We know it's at the end of the year, but we also know how many dates he has left.
But he did say just recently, it was earlier this week, December.
Right.
So it's going to stretch to December.
Yeah, 100%.
So SummerSlam. So maybe just maybe SummerSlam is where you lose the title. Whether Cody goes face or whether he stays face, goes heel, he gets that ovation. And then Super Cena shows up again in November, right?
Yeah. I think when he drops the belt at SummerSlam, we're going to get a big break from John Cena. He's going to be gone for probably 3 months. That's where I think it's going to go. I think Cena loses. I think he disappears for a while. And then, come October, we hear that theme song hit and everyone goes nuts. And then he makes some sort of wild run towards the end to chase back the title. And I think his final match will be Cody versus Cena. And I hope Cena beats him, gets 18 and walks away. And then, we figure it out from there.
I'm typing right now. How many more dates does Cena have?
It's got to be like 14.
Oh, I put Lena. I meant Cena. Now I'm getting stuff on the hot dog eating contest because somebody's name's Lena. How many more dates does Cena have?
While you look that up, any truth to Brock Lesnar coming back after going after Seth? I think we've been talking about Brock Lesnar for the past 2 years, probably, and I don't see it. Yeah.
I don't think you can bring, and let me double down here, you can't bring him back until this whole, and I know Janelle Grant's kind of, two things happen with the lawsuit with McMahon. The first is she dismissed her claims against John Laurinaitis, and the speculation is he is now going to be a witness. He's going to flip on McMahon. He's going to do the dirty, what you don't do. What's the mafia call them? I should know that.
Snitches get stitches, rats.
A cockroach. Yeah, he's gonna go swimming with the fishes. So
Luca Brasi ways.
Yeah. So I think
Luca Brasi sleeps with the fishes.
Until that gets resolved, you can't bring Brock back because his name is in that.
He should bring his daughter into the WWE though. Have you seen his daughter?
I saw like a thing of like Brock Lesnar. He was in some type of shop and his daughter was with him, but I didn't like pay attention to her.
She's like all American collegiate. She does track and field. I think shot put is like her big thing. She is built like Brock.
Shocking that she's a good athlete and built like Brock.
I mean, throw that up on the screen. Let's throw up Brock Lesnar's daughter on the screen.
I don't know. I don't need Brock Lesnar coming after me and F5 and me for putting his daughter on the screen.
Dude,
how old is she?
So lucky. She's in college. I'm not saying put a weird picture up of her. I'm just saying put a picture up.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I trust you.
Just trust me. First. I wouldn't. Yeah, she does look like him. And then recently they've had Brock Lesnar baby pictures circulating on the interwebs. And those are entertaining because Brock looks like Brock when he was out of the womb. Yeah, throw it up. Your face says it all. I said she looked like him. I don't think you were expecting her to look that much like him. Bro, I'm telling you, she would crush it.
Whoa.
That's Brock.
She's like a natural Jordan Grace, bro.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. She's
Like
very
and
Jordan Gracie built.
And I'm not okay. Here's what I'm saying. I'm not saying Jordan Grace isn't natural. She is. She doesn't use like anything crazy, but Jordan Grace also, like, if you follow her story, she wasn't always in wrestler shape, to put it that way.
No, she worked hard as hell to build the body that she had.
This is just straight genetics. Can you imagine?
It's genetics and hard work for sure.
But that's only a college athlete. Like, if a pro system if WWE got a hold of that,
I'm like, there's not much money in shot put. And I think like what you see with WWE is they recruit these collegiate athletes that are there's no future in, I mean, I don't want to
the
say
Olympics. Okay, so
but
WWE currently has NIL deals with some student athletes. You can't even call them student athletes anymore. They're athletes who attend online classes and play sports. I don't know. Anyways,
Danny Palmer, like I know she was only like NXT and Evolve and stuff, but Danny Palmer was so athletic. She was like a acro tumbler. She was a national champion. Her work in the ring was incredible, I thought. She was super green, but I think there was something there. She was just injury ridden, and I think they're on the right path. The problem is that the women's divisions are so stacked. There's like, what do you do?
What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, we've got Evolution coming. We have an all-female pay-per-view coming. We don't have an all-male pay-per-view coming. They're just so backlogged with these female wrestlers, and they're all so talented. Like, there is not enough room.
Wrestling was an all-male pay-per-view for like 50 years, bro. Come on.
I know. I understand.
They're not going to go back to that. But sorry,
No.
I sometimes I think I'm not really trying to talk down to you. It's a gimmick. It's my gimmick. Here's the problem with her. If you could sell her as the next big thing,
give her a flat top.
No, listen, it's actually the opposite. If you could sell her, if she did not look like a spinning image of her father, and you could get her into WWE without fans making the connection, which happens a lot, then you could do it. But I don't even think you can bring her in until that lawsuit settled.
You can't separate her from Brock. It's impossible.
I mean, whoa.
Even if you gave her a different name, we'd all be like, hey, that chick looks like Brock Lesnar to me. I think there's too much visibility on her for that to be a reality.
I mean, what does JR always say?
A slobber knocker.
Yeah, I mean, holy moly.
I mean, put her against a Jordan Grace, put her against a Rhea Ripley, put her against a Bianca Belair. That'd be a slobber knocker.
Well, I mean, and really, there's no rush for her to get to wrestling. If you think about it, she's probably going to be an Olympian.
20 years old, probably.
She's probably going to want to explore being an Olympian first.
Yeah, so did Brock. Who's the greatest Olympian that graced WWE or professional athlete, I'd say.
The greatest?
Yeah.
Kurt Angle.
Yeah. I mean, it's him and Brock.
No, it's got to be Kurt.
Well,
Brock didn't win a gold medal, right?
Right.
I guess what I'm saying.
Did Kurt win collegiate?
Huh?
Did Kurt win collegiate champions?
I think he was national champion, all that. But I guess like if you're gonna throw the wrestling part into it,
UFC champion, heavyweight champion.
but I don't know enough of them. If you're gonna, here's why I argue Kurt. The guy did not get the wrestling training that Brock Lesnar got. And I know Lesnar, he was amongst the group with was Cena, Orton, all them down there, and I forget what it was called. But Kurt Angle got thrown into like the Attitude Era with no training, and dude excelled. Just natural athlete.
Have you ever heard his stories? Did you listen to that Chris Van Vliet interview with Kurt?
I have not, but I know his stories.
Yeah. Check it out. That's a cool interview. And he actually tells a story where him and Brock went at it wrestling style in the ring. And I think Kurt said he won.
Really?
Or it was close. I don't remember.
Derek arguing that Brock won a UFC championship too.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
okay, but you can't expand it. If you're saying the best athlete ever in WWE, that's a different conversation. But if you're saying the best Olympian to wrestle in WWE, I gotta go Kurt.
Sure. Okay. Good point. Good point. Who would kill you easier? Brock Lesnar in his prime or Kurt Angle in his prime? I would argue that both would kill me equally as fast, but I would give a slight edge to Brock because I think that's what UFC is. Wrestling has rules. Sure, UFC has rules, but I think it's more striking and wrestling.
Well, Brock Lesnar, when he was in UFC, dude, like had barely trained. Did you see his fights? Like if
he didn't need to, he walked. He was a walk-on.
But if he got a hold of you because of his pure size, like you were done. If he got a hold of you, but if you got a hold of him, like with any of the jiu-jitsu or any of that stuff, you were done. Like perfect example, CM Punk, right? He trained, he stunk.
Oh, he stunk. He got waxed. I watched that first fight of CM Punk in UFC, and that dude got worked like a part-time job. And then he had, I think, 2 more fights beyond that. And then he was like, I'm done.
Look at you, like coming up with all these like JR terms. Got whipped like a government mule. Got like, okay.
Worked like a part-time job, baby.
So here's my answer. If I think you have roles for Angle and you have roles for Lesnar. If you need somebody just to literally wipe you out, like before you can blink, Lesnar. But if you want to torture somebody and like get the most information out of them, Kurt Angle. Keep breaking ankle here, breaking ankle there. You know,
I'll make your ankle hurt.
You know, you've got to think Kurt Angle in some way, and maybe this is Chad Gable holding off on it, but you got to think in some way Kurt Angle gets involved with Gable at some point. I'm sure Gable is like thinking, I want to do this on my own. I don't want to get the rub right from.
But I think we all want the rub. You brought it up. I've wanted that. We want Chad Gable to have Kurt Angle's music. I think at the end of the day is what we truly want. We want him to be that same persona and carry it forward. Does that create like, identity crisis for Chad Gable? Maybe. Is he piggybacking on someone else's gimmick? Probably. But who cares? That's what we.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was about to curse. So no, you.
I'm glad I stopped you.
Yeah.
Well, I would argue the line's already blurred. Like you're running a group called American Made, you know, and like, anyways.
It's the
By
same.
the way, I want to throw this in really quick.
The new Grande Americana.
Yes, before we transition to that, Ivy Nile, right? Ivy Nile. I've been really impressed with like how she's starting to look, develop confidence. I like it.
I love Ivy Nile. I think she is great. I think she's underutilized. I think all of American Made is underutilized. I'm spacing on which brand they're on right now.
Raw.
They are on Raw. Okay, great. Why in the hell are you not? I mean, yes, they did have a championship match recently, but we want to talk about the disparity between the SmackDown tag team roster versus the Raw tag team roster. And now you've got Finn and JD holding the tag team titles. And what are we doing with that? You know, every member in Judgment Day now has a belt, but
they just won't go away, man. They're like athletes.
It's like, come on, peel the Band-Aid. Now, what's even worse is we're stuck with a Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, who's on the shelf for 9 months. So are we going to string out the Judgment Day story for another 9 months? They've been together for what, 5 years?
Yeah, I think you have to. If you're, yeah,
you have to.
You have to. With now that okay, I'm more interested because of Roxanne Perez. You know, like there's some. I don't know. I guess they've given themselves enough outs to where they can take it different directions. So I don't know. El Grande Americano, different dude. Who do you think that was?
Every sign points to Ludwig Kaiser.
Boom! That's who I thought it was too, with the chest back or the chest up.
Yeah. You know, European elegance. It shows itself in many forms.
I mean, that was
one of them.
Because he is kind of dropped.
Allow me to introduce you to the man who is the epitome of efficiency and elegance.
El Grande
Americano. Kaiser. I love Gunther in Imperium. I love those guys. I don't know why. Like, I know why we sort of split those two apart, but then you had a little bit of a push with Kaiser, and then he disappeared for 4 months. It's just like, why do we just drop these storylines? You know,
well,
the Bronson Reed bloodline thing still eats at me.
Okay, to be fair. Okay, to be fair, make it make sense. Okay. That you have been packaged with Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser. You get split off from them. And for those that don't know, Tiffy is married to Ludwig, or they date? I think they're married.
I believe they're just dating.
Oh, they're just dating. Okay, well, Tiffy is dating Ludwig, right? You get lucky enough to be repackaged into this, like, I don't know, like European Delta Bravo. Yeah. And then you start hitting on Tiffany, like right as you start to re-debut, and you basically get fired. Like,
oh, are you talking about Giovanni Vinci?
Yes.
Yeah. I think you said Ludwig there.
Yeah.
But yeah. Like,
I said Tiffy's dating Ludwig.
Right. And then you had Giovanni Vinci, who's long gone.
It's Tiffy time.
That stupid promo with Vinci like him on top of a sports car. And I'm like, dude, you are here 5 minutes a year. I don't believe that you own any sort of luxury sports car, exotic sports car.
See, when you got guys like Maven who are going around with their YouTube channels unpacking $500,000 of cash, like, you know, the guys now are getting paid well.
Rumor is they broke up. This just in from Justin.
No way.
Well,
he has been off TV for a while.
No, that's not true, because I saw they posted on Instagram, I think yesterday, that they were in Europe somewhere together.
They might be maintaining the front.
It's Tiffy time.
Did Andrade and Charlotte maintain the front?
But every situation is different. You know what it's going to be?
Maven here. Maven's in the chat.
Hey,
good news.
Hey, it's going to be Rhino.
It's Tiffy time.
Tiffy time.
It's Rhino time-o.
Yeah, Rhino time-o. Oh, what's up, Maven? What's up, dude? Love to have you on the show sometime, Maeve.
Hey, what was his alternate character moniker? It was Maven, and then who else?
He's been hardcore champion 96 times. I don't know. Anyways, all right. So SmackDown's pre-taped. We're not going to talk about it. I don't know any of the matches. I don't know the spoilers. I want to know them.
Leave me the hell alone.
Yep, leave us alone with those. You wrestling. You get a Saturday night's main event. You get Evolution, and then SummerSlam's here. We're halfway through the calendar.
Yeah, but you know what, Rhino? I'm not looking that far ahead. I'm looking to Wednesday, Dynamite, Thursday, Collision, and Saturday, AEW All In.
Is it this Saturday?
Not this Saturday, the following week.
Yeah, fill the people in.
Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I will be there all week, baby.
Yeah,
I'm all
courtesy of the King's Court. Adam will be all. No,
yeah, 100%.
That's awesome, dude. You'll have to don't do anything to get yourself like in trouble, but keep us updated.
I mean, no trouble at all. I'll be, I think for Collision Thursday night, I'm going to be right by Gorilla. So I will be where they come out from the entrance, right on the side there Thursday night. So look for me if you're watching.
Dude, if the opportunity presented itself, could we get like a Will Ospreay shout out? King's Court, bruv.
Hey, I mean, that used to be your old theme song.
I know. I love Ospreay. All right.
You good, bruv.
You good, bruv.
I just want to meet Chris Jericho and Tony Storm. That's all I care about.
Dude, there is an argument for Tony Storm that she, by the time it's all said and done, might be the best character of all time for a woman.
She's
for a
great.
woman. She's incredible.
She's fun. Who do we think could match up with her? I think
get in a fight with Jungle Boy.
Dude, if you were with AEW, I'd be looking for a fight with Mr. Iguana.
Mr. Iguana.
Yeah,
that's where
I think
you're
I
going.
could. Like Yeska.
I heard he got in some heat.
Why? Because he said he was going to jump to WWE main roster and skip NXT.
Well, just the fact that he was going to be in NXT, he shouldn't have opened his mouth there. Weren't they thinking about really selling some of his stuff and promoting him?
They were looking to source iguana hand puppets by the masses. Procure iguana hand puppets.
Just go to Sequest. They've got a million of them.
Hobby Lobby probably has.
I can't play it for too long, so we'll get a copyright.
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
I thought you didn't watch AEW, and now you know the old themes and everything. Come on, man.
You know, I dabble.
Oh
There's
my
just
goodness.
so much wrestling out there in the world. It's hard for me to stay in tune with all of it because I do have a full-time job.
Besides the King
that's
Sport.
hard for you guys to believe, but I do hold a full-time job.
Go ahead.
No, what are you doing?
I was going to ask you if you're going to be watching the hot dog eating contest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Sure.
It's kind of one of those like weird questions. Like, do you watch, like, kind of like the wrestling thing, how we stumbled on it? It's like, oh wait, you watch that too?
Joey Chestnut, right?
Yes.
He's our guy. He had controversy last year, correct?
Yeah.
He got
it wasn't his fault.
He wasn't even able to do it. Oh, because he got sponsored by Ballpark or something.
Well, and Nathan's thought they could have a contest without him. Doesn't work. You can't have a contest without Joey Chestnut. There's no contest. So,
Maki.
Listen to the crowd.
Disgusting. It's disgusting to watch. I'm not going to watch it. I lied. I really couldn't care less about it. But who are the main entrants in this? Who are the big players for the hot
Joey
dog
Chestnut and I said her name earlier. What?
The guy who won last year?
Bertoletti, and for the women, it is Mickey Sudo.
Okay. And no Kobayashi.
No.
He's done.
He's done. Yeah.
Well, good, because I don't like anyone with the name Kobe.
We'll end there. Have a great 4th of July.
I don't care.
You're wearing a red Sacramento Kings hat, by the way, red and black.
Red and blue.
Okay, I see you.
The original colors, sir.
Yeah.
Kind of what?
Kind of
the original colors.
Not the
Look,
Kings.
I'm still not down with the purple and black. Okay, I want us to go back to the red, white, and blue. That's my take. Anyway,
fair enough. It's a good take to have before the 4th of July.
I don't let grudges go, no matter the circumstance.
I can tell you're petty.
I am so petty.
I know some really petty people, and
I'm one of them.
You kind of come off as one of them.
So I'm the king of the ring of pettiness.
No, I'm not going to go there yet, but I'm not going to talk
right,
anymore.
What do I have to do?
I'll think about it.
All right, I'll come up with something for next week's show to really drive the point home that I am the most petty, and I don't care what your vital status is. I'm going to go in on you.
All right, fair enough. We want
volunteers.
We want volunteers, not hostages.
No doubt.
All right, brother. Have a great 4th of July. Appreciate you.
Keep your fingers.
Adam Moose, put one up in the air for him. Thank you. Good job by Adam Oos. All right, we're out. Have a great 4th of July. Don't forget, join Grant tonight. Thanks for sticking around. If you did, good stuff earlier today. If you are just tuning in or you tuned in for the wrestling segment on its own, go check out the Kings and NBA talk. Before that, you can find everything on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find your podcasts. Kings Court with Raynaud. Don't forget Napes. You can find his stuff there too. You can also find it at grantnapier.com, and you can watch everything on YouTube. I got kind of crossways there. I'm going to say if you don't like that. Anyways, if you don't like that.com will take you to everything as well. Speaking of Mr. Napes, He sends you into the 4th of July holiday tonight, 8 o'clock. Join him. He'll talk about the press conferences today, some of these new reports. And remember, if anything significant happens with the Kings, I or Grant will be on to talk about it over the holiday weekend. Please be safe. Please have fun. Thank you for making this your destination for Kings and wrestling content. And seriously, have a great, safe 4th of July with your loved ones, family, and friends. Be safe. Go Kings. Light the beam. Join Grant at 8 tonight. Court is dismissed.
Order in the court.